Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And as we all are still digesting the crazy and eventful 3 days that were the NFL draft, still a lot to talk about. We'll have a lot of post draft discussion videos, and that's the category that this video falls under. We're going to be talking about the quarterbacks. Obviously, we had a good idea of how it was going to start with Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson going as we expected. Number 3 was a wild card. There were also lots of different expectations for Justin Fields and Mac Jones as to where they would go and how high they would go. Would there be trade ups? We did see a trade up. So really a lot to discuss about the selections of the quarterbacks in the NFL draft, but also how they'll fit with their new teams.
Yeah, we'll start with those first two. The obvious ones. We're just going to go in order of where they were drafted and just discuss it and the future of all that. So if you want to skip to your quarterback, if you're a fan of any of these 5 teams, feel free. We're going in the order, so judge by that. Let's start with Trevor Lawrence, though, the first overall pick. This was basically confirmed before the draft even happened. So we all knew this was going to be happening, and we've made analysis already because who was going to say it wasn't going to happen? No one was, but let's talk about it again. Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars. What do you guys expect to see?
Just the most sound player in this draft class. He's been consistently great for a really long time. It makes a heck of a lot of sense why he goes number 1 overall. Just the fact that Zach Wilson was challenging this guy in some people's minds for number 1 is that's crazy for Zach Wilson to do because Trevor Lawrence has just been that good for that long. He's been so consistent with Clemson, and also he's got that run game as well as that great pass game. This dude is a generational talent, and it's very expected that he goes number 1 overall. I think he goes number 1 overall in almost any draft class. You put him against Joe Burrow, he still might go number 1 overall. Last year, he's just that good. That would have been interesting to see, actually, those two go against each other last year. Anyways, though, the tape speaks for itself over these, how many years has it been? 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence has been consistently great, and that's why he went number 1 overall, just as simple as that.
Yeah, and it's just so great for that Jacksonville fan base. I think that just seeing how they've embraced him, he was at the stadium, and, there were people there, and everyone. It's just a great time for Jaguars fans, even though they're in my division. I am happy for them because they had that one year where they got to the AFC Championship, but other than that, the past decade or so of Jaguars football has not been
some
great.
People didn't watch that game, though.
Yeah, some people didn't, but that stuff like that happens. But anyway, for Jaguars fans, I'll probably be eating my words come football season in the fall, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Trevor Lawrence. I think he's got a good supporting cast around him. They brought in Travis Etienne. I'm sure that's something he wanted and probably something that he talked about with Urban Meyer before the draft because I'm almost certain that they were talking. I think they gave him the playbook early, which I think that's what the Bengals did with Burrow last year. But I think it's a great fit. Trevor's excited to be there. Jacksonville's thrilled to have him. That's always a good matchup to have or connection to have when there's mutual excitement for each other, a new era. My only concern is Trevor Lawrence, he did not lose a regular season game, I believe, in high school football or in
I think
his
it's last year of
career.
high school.
Last year
or last 2 years.
No, he lost in the playoffs. He never lost a regular season.
Yeah, in the regular season, yeah. And obviously, I'm not saying he hasn't handled adversity because football's a tough sport, whether you're winning or losing. And it's just with Jacksonville, it's looking up for them in the future. There's a bright future ahead, but there will likely still be a rebuild process going, and it might be a few years before they're in the playoffs, maybe or maybe not. So my only concern is, will Trevor Lawrence be able to handle that, kind of different vibe of, maybe not contending for a championship every year? Or will there be some growing pains with that? We'll see. That's just my only concern. But other than that, I think it's a great fit. I think they're building around him. They're committed to each other, the player and the team that is. And it'll be fun to watch. But as a Texans fan, maybe not.
Yeah, Jaguars, great pick with this one, although your later pick in this round, I was not a fan of.
Yeah, although,
he's a good player, but they did not need him.
Yeah, they didn't need it. Yeah.
He'll probably do some good things.
It's cool, and I'm sure that's something, again, they talked
there are
to
other
Trevor
positions they could have targeted.
Yeah, so that one's pretty self-explanatory, like I said before they started talking about, which they explained it well, by the way. We knew this one was happening, but the next pick we basically knew it was going to happen also, but we couldn't all but confirm it like we had with Trevor Lawrence. Zach Wilson going to the Jets.
Very good.
Zach Wilson, I'll start off just talking about it really quickly. He was the best quarterback in this draft class in my mind. Just watching him, I think you could definitely say he's the most talented, meaning he does more things. With the arm angles and all that, the things we've seen from Patrick Mahomes and other quarterbacks in the league more recently, and that's the type of prototype we've been seeing with these successful NFL quarterbacks. Zach Wilson is that to me. With the Jets, it's going to be tough to get going, but you know what? They drafted around him, drafting 2 offensive players after they drafted him, I don't know, they kept going. I just know the
Yeah,
next 2 picks
trading
were
up for Elijah Vera Tucker and then getting Elijah Moore to start the second.
Yep.
2 good ones.
Yeah, they like the Elijahs. But I think there is a future there for Zach Wilson just because of the talent that he has. It might take a bit, though, for him to develop there because there's not as much help. But the Jets are growing around it with a new head coach. It's looking up for that organization. I'm excited to see what Zach Wilson can do. He's the best quarterback, like I said, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm not going to flat out say he's the best quarterback because that would be mean to Trevor Lawrence. However, I will say that Zach Wilson has the most potential to become the best quarterback. Just like if you go back like with Mahomes, his talents that he had him. He had the potential to be the best quarterback out of that draft class. But you got to groom him right. You got to be able to translate that to the next level. And with Zach Wilson, he did great at BYU, and there's a lot of evidence showing that he could transfer all of these great talents that he has to the next level. But the question is, will he do it? Because let's just be frank, the BYU, or let's be honest, I don't know what that meant. I guess that means something, but I'll just keep going. BYU wasn't playing the toughest competition, so that is still a knock. We'll have to see. However, I feel like this guy's career is going to be great. I feel like his talents will translate. He's got great arm talent. It's just fantastic to watch. And he's a really good quarterback, smart, all those things that are needed. It'll be fun to watch and see the game translate. Honestly, I like the Jets. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or anything, even with this expanded playoff next year. However, I think they'll have a chance to try to compete, and I think their offense just got a heck of a lot better. And that defense still might be a bit weaker, but that was probably the better part of their team last year. But that's not saying much because their offense sucked. However, I'm excited to see what the Jets can do, and I'm excited to see Zach Wilson's career.
Yeah, one thing I do want to say, you mentioned, Zach Wilson playing at a lower level of competition. That is fair, but it's not like he has like Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle lined up as his receivers, and he's playing these lesser defenses. The receivers are Mountain West Conference level too, so I think that kind of balances itself out in a sense. But I'm really excited. I think he's ready for the big stage of New York. I think you're seeing the way he played at BYU. I think he's very NFL ready. I agree that the potential is sky high for him, as is with some other players in this class. But I think he's NFL ready. I think he should be the starter week 1, barring any unexpected setbacks or developments within the Jets. I think that, like we mentioned, the Jets are committed to building around him. They traded up for Vera Tucker, that left side of the line, I'm assuming, with Becton and Vera Tucker. Being tackle and guard respectively, that looks really good. Getting him another receiver and Elijah Moore to add to that group, having Denzel Mims there, the rookie. They drafted now a second-year player who they drafted in 2020. That's good to see. And then also getting Michael Carter, solid 4th-round running back. I think that's a low-risk, high-reward move right there. So they're building around him. I think Zach Wilson, he just plays so confidently. He's poised. Never looks like he's panicking. Just really a player that does show shades of Patrick Mahomes at times, and that's not something that I'm just throwing around. I think that sometimes people are, too commonly saying, oh, he's the next Mahomes, or that reminds me of Mahomes. But with Zach Wilson, I do think you could definitely see some elements of Mahomes' game, when you watch him on tape last year. So I'm excited for him. I think he's the clear-cut number 2 QB in this class. I really don't think there should have ever been much of a debate about that. So I'm excited to see what he does with the Jets.
All right, number 3, we're just going to the 3rd pick of the draft because the first 3 picks were quarterbacks. It ended up being Trey Lance, and we had debated on this channel for a long time. Jordan was on the Justin Fields train about 2 weeks before the draft before he hopped on the Trey Lance train and ended up getting it right. I was saying Mac Jones. It was Trey Lance, and I'll let you guys start since you were saying it should be Trey Lance.
First of all, Tyler, you didn't mention how Ryan thought Trey Lance.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah,
but
so Ryan,
he did say that, but
when I said this, I was on the Trey Lance train before there was the whole narrowed down to Lance or Jones thing. Yeah.
No, but I was just saying.
Don't
by
give me
saying
more
Jordan,
you said mine, you said yours. You
yeah.
just didn't say Ryan's.
I get it.
He deserves the
Message
credit.
received. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, by saying Jordan was on the Justin Fields train until the end when he jumped on your train, like I said, that implied you were on that train the entire time.
You can't let the viewers assume. You got to tell them this stuff. And now, Ryan,
look, they know.
You've been disrespected. Go ahead and talk about Trey Lance for me.
With Trey Lance, I was on the Trey Lance to the 49ers train before it was a trend. I said, before the stuff came out that they were narrowed down to Fields and Lance, I was adamant about Trey Lance being who they should pick, and they made the right decision, in my opinion. I think that,
That's right.
Just seeing what he can do in their offense, and I think that he's just built so perfectly. Because when you trade up, you're looking for something more. You're looking for an upgrade. You're looking to expand or, you just reach new heights. And I was watching NFL Network the afternoon of the draft, and whoever the reporter was that was covering the 49ers, he said that something he heard was that the 49ers already have someone like Mac Jones on their roster, and his name is Jimmy Garoppolo. And I thought that was a great point because you don't trade up to get something that's sort of a carbon copy or at least very similar in play style to the guy you already have. Because then why would you waste all these future picks moving up for something that's the same? You move up to get a guy with a sky high ceiling, especially with great coaching and proper development, a great supporting cast and environment around him in San Francisco. It's the right pick. He's got the highest ceiling of any of the guys available, the most athletic quarterback available, can move around in the pocket, and I'm so excited to see what Kyle Shanahan will do with him. I think it's great, the right pick. The Trey area has a nice ring to it, by the way. I've been seeing that trending around. I like that kind of saying. It's pretty catchy. But then one thing I said, when the time is right, you have to not rush him in. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo there. I think there's a reason they didn't trade him. It's because they want him to be there to help them. They know they could win with Jimmy Garoppolo. So have the 49ers contend with Jimmy Garoppolo, go try and win, and when the time is right, put Trey Lance in. But I do believe they can be a playoff-type football team with Garoppolo at the helm and simultaneously develop Trey Lance. Think about what the Chiefs did when they had Alex Smith for the year. The year Mahomes was basically redshirted. The Chiefs still made the playoff that year. They blew a big lead in their game, but that's beside the point. So 49ers, good job. You made the right decision. I was happy when that third overall pick card was read by the commissioner.
Yeah, Ryan, I agree with almost everything you said.
That's
but
typical.
just the one thing I didn't agree with is that Alex Smith is not Jimmy Garoppolo in my mind. However, I do agree they should not rush Trey Lance in, but I just don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo has the ability to lead this or to have this team get them to a Super Bowl unless their defense is like just turns it on again like they did 2 years ago, which would be fun to watch for sure.
It's a lot of the same guys. I mean, that's still a great unit and getting, Bosa healthy and all that.
Yeah, I never thought they were that good of a team anyways when they were in the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. And as you know, I don't like Garoppolo. But yes, they should let some quarterback play. They got to groom Trey Lance first. Don't rush him in. But when Trey Lance gets his time, I'm excited for that.
That will be fun to watch. I mean, he has so much potential.
That is an
good job, 49ers.
Yeah, it's an important point you guys made. I had Trey Lance as my 5th-ranked quarterback overall, but you can go back on this channel, and I've said, I think on multiple occasions at this point, that even when the 49ers were at 12, I said if Trey Lance goes to the 49ers, he could be one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class because it would be a good fit for him and a good offense that would work nicely. If you're patient, like Ryan and Jordan both said, I think if the 49ers do that, Trey Lance has a lot of potential to be very good. You saw it at NDSU. I think we're going to see it in the Bay Area, or the Trey area, as Ryan said. So I'm excited for this one. Happy for Trey Lance. Let's move on to the next one, which was a trade up for mine and Jordan's team, trading up to pick number 11 with a trade with the Giants. Bears trade up to get Justin Fields. Jordan, you want to start?
Of course I want to start. So, Ryan, you haven't posted the video yet of our reaction.
No, I will. That'll be on our Instagram. I'm going to, I'll probably try and make that tonight or tomorrow. But there's some fun reactions.
Yeah, so we did some reactions to a lot of some picks in the draft. We did a Trey Lance one. We did, I think, a Lions one, a Panthers one, a Bears one, Eagles one. We did a couple. We did a Raiders one too at the last second. That was fun.
The Bucks too.
Yeah, the Bucks at the end. But however, that was just a shout out to go and follow our Instagram, the Touchdown Table, no caps, no spaces. Go check it out. Good stuff there. We post a lot of draft stuff. Ryan's going to post those videos, and we'll see what other upcoming things will come in the future. But it will be some good stuff. Ryan does a great job running that Instagram. Now, to the Bears and Justin Fields. My initial reaction, as you will see in that video, was I was paused for a second. I was like, okay. I was like, pause, dude. Yep. No, I wasn't like that. But I was paused. I stood up. And then I just started clapping because I was like, you know what? This is our guy. I was very skeptical of us trading up at first. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? I think actually you might be able to hear me in the video saying, what are we doing here?
What am I doing here?
Yeah, exactly. But once the night went on and that pick was made, I felt more and more comfortable with it. I think it was the best move for the Bears. And I know they gave up a lot, maybe more than I would like to see them give away. However, I just don't think if you're waiting to get your quarterback, we're not going to make a playoffs with Andy Dalton. We're not even going to make a good run with Andy Dalton, in my opinion, this year. So I think that trading up for a quarterback like Justin Fields, who has that big upside, is going to be really good, especially because next year's quarterback class isn't looking as good. Now, of course, a lot of years you say that, and then it's better than you expect. But I feel like for the Bears, the best move was to trade up now and try to get their guy. I think Nagy said that they're planning on starting Dalton day one, so they're trying to do
I think
a
they
more
promised
grooming
Dalton
thing.
the starting
Yeah.
job, so I hope so.
So they'll groom him in, which is a good thing because I don't think Fields is someone that should be starting right away. However, I do think it's going to be something more like what they did with Trubisky when Dalton's going to have to step down like a bit in just because he's not playing too well. That's just my opinion. We'll see. I'm eager to see Justin Fields on the field. It should be fun to see that. He was
Soldier
actually
Fields.
already at
Yeah.
Soldier Field. I saw some nice pictures of that. That was just I was scrolling through my Instagram feed. Anytime I see Justin Fields, it just makes me so happy. I'm excited for a future with this guy, and as a Bears fan, it scares me to say that because that's what we said with Trubisky. But I think this could be different. Our offense is getting built better. Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, who's just a fantastic person. I love him. A lot of other guys as well. We got Tevin Jenkins in the second round,
That was a great
which was
pick.
really good. Traded up for him, and I was not. I actually, my friend asked me before, like, what's the worst thing your team could do on day 2, and I was like, trade up and lose picks. But actually, it was the best thing we did.
That was an awesome
because we
trade-up.
traded up to get someone that fell, and that was 13 on your big board.
Yes.
So that was good. I'm going too Bearsy right now, but however, I'm excited to see what Justin Fields can do. And my analysis on Justin Fields is that he needs to be groomed, as I said. Still needs to get some decision making better, but he definitely has the talent running and with his arm as well. And I think this guy has an opportunity to be a stud in Chicago.
Yeah, you're gonna see that video when we post it on the Instagram. I don't look happy when we drafted Justin Fields because I was hoping it was Mac Jones when we traded up. I have Mac Jones as my 3rd ranked quarterback and Justin Fields as my 4th ranked quarterback. There's other reasons as well that we're not gonna get into right now that I was hoping Mac Jones would be the pick. This would have been more exciting for me, but I know Bears fans would have disagreed with me heavily on that. It didn't end up being Justin Fields, and I was upset because I wanted it to be Mac Jones. I was upset because we lost the 1st round pick. That was a lot to go up 9 spots in
Hope
the
you
draft.
enjoyed your year with the first round pick.
So that's upsetting.
Won't
I
get
was
it.
personally just ready to tank for this year and get a good quarterback in next year's draft because our schedule is so difficult that I don't think
Although I do like
Justin
Sam
Fields
Howell.
is saving us. But then, I started to, breathe it in a little bit more, and now I'm feeling more excited for Justin Fields. Hold on, let me go back a little bit, backtrack here. Now that we've made this move, I think that means Nagy and Pace are here for at least 2 more years. If the front office was willing to say, all right, this is your quarterback, you guys can stay here for this year and next year, maybe more if Justin Fields ends up working out, I can be okay with it. But you can't just can the 2 guys that drafted him because then that would end terribly. And Justin Fields is already in a terrible spot being a quarterback in Chicago. So, we'll see about that. We're gonna move on because we talked about that one for a while. Let's talk about the
I like
last
Nagy.
one.
You can Pace if you want.
Yes. Anyways, Mac Jones to the Patriots. Ryan, I'm gonna give it to you to start off with this one.
Love it.
Yeah.
We all love this one.
Mocked it.
Well, first of all, you should have just spelled Cam backwards when you were making your mock draft because it was actually already written. Cam and Mac. It sounds like it'd be like a Disney Channel show or something. But in all seriousness, it's just an awesome fit. Mac Jones, he said, this is where he wanted to be. And at first I was like, no, you probably would rather have gone 3rd overall. Yeah, on national TV. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you the secret. Don't tell anyone on national TV with microphones everywhere. But anyway, at first when I heard that Mac Jones said that that's where he wanted to be, I was like, really? I'm sure you would have rather gone number 3 overall, which is much higher. You'd probably get paid more. But then I really thought about it, and I'm like, he actually could be telling the truth. And I came to the conclusion that he was. It is just such an awesome fit. I feel like the offense that Alabama had him run is similar to what New England does, where it's not always flashy, doesn't always make the highlight reel, but it gets the job done. That's what they did with Tom Brady in his waning years in New England. I think that Mac Jones is just the perfect Patriot Belichick style of quarterback. He, coming from Alabama to New England, like they're always compared to each other. The Crimson Tide and the Patriots with all the championships and the history and the high expectations and the culture. I think that Mac is ready for it. I think he's built for it. I think he's ready for the off the field stuff, the Patriot way, and all that. I think he's also ready
He's a smart
to
kid.
perform. That was the thing about
Young
him.
man.
The football IQ was ridiculous. Scouts were reportedly impressed, and what was it, borderline genius he was called when it comes to football IQ and knowing stuff. And that's another thing that I think is going to fit well with New England. Not always going to make the highlight reel, not always going to throw 400 yards, but he is a guy that knows his own ability, uses the talent around him well, and just is very smart with the football. Doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not as athletic as say Trey Lance or Justin Fields, but I'm just so happy for both Mac and the Patriots that this ended up working out because I just think it's a match made in heaven when you look at what the Patriots want to do and what Mac is good at. So really, really happy with this one.
Yeah, Ryan, you explained it very well. And just remember, this Patriots team is not kind of like the Tom Brady team that they ran. I mean, the offense is going to look similar, but it's not built the same way because there's not like those scrawny no-name receivers that you don't really know on that team. They've kind of built some more guys there. I know Edelman's going to be gone, but they've added some receivers, and they've added people to the defensive side too. So really, right now the Patriots are saying, all right, we're done. We had 1 year where we didn't make a playoff, and I'm not very happy right now. So we're trying to load up here, and I think they really trust Mac Jones. This is where I wanted to see Mac Jones go. I was not high on Mac Jones. I feel like he should have gone in this range though, and I would have loved to see him go to this team, which obviously he did. I think it's a perfect fit, and really, all these quarterbacks, I'm just stoked to be able to watch them play some football. And we also have a video of our friend Brandon reaction to the Packers pick of Eric Stokes, which he was not happy about because he wanted a receiver. But that's also a good one. It's one of my favorites because Brandon reactions are just great.
They are something. So yeah.
You guys covered Mac Jones, the Patriots, very well. It seems meant to be. I mean, not only Cam spelled backwards, but the Tom Brady type of stuff. We saw the walk as he walked in, looked similar to Bill Belichick. Did you guys see the video of Bill calling him?
No, I didn't. Why? What was it?
Well, I mean, it's just a classic Bill Belichick call.
Pretty sure it wasn't like the Zaven Collins one. Did you see that one?
I don't think I saw
that. That was quite emotional, which is good. It was just very high energy, you could say, from both sides, which is good. Just a contrast there.
We're going to wrap it up there, so I'm sure we get more in these quarterback talks as we get later on in the offseason on our podcast, which, by the way, go check that out on Spotify or anywhere else you can find podcasts. Go check out our Instagram, as well as we've mentioned early on in this video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, go comment down below who you think the best quarterback in this draft class is. Now that we know where they're going to be, and let us know why. We'd love to have some conversation down below. So let's do that, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video, and with that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.